What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so, channel message. Somebody wants you to dumb it down. Dumb yourself down. Appeal to the masses. Follow the crowd. Follow the trend. And it's more or less like, don't do it your way, do it our way. Don't be you, be like this. Do it more like this. You see how I do it like this. And it's all because they want you to feel and question your own unique path. They want you to follow the identity of the masses. And that is a paradigm. So, take that how you will. That's the message that I hear before I got on here. It's more or less like they want you to dumb it down. They just keep asking you to. Can you simplify that? Can you make it shorter? And even if you did make it shorter and you simplify it to the best of your abilities, they want to drain more of your energy by asking you to keep going over the same thing over and over again when you've already said whatever it is that you feel like you need to say. So there's also a message. I also feel like however you speak, however you show up, however you do things is good enough. It has to be good enough. And you don't need to be in your head thinking as if you need to be any more than who you already are. In this journey called life, you're already going to be pulled by the external world. And the external world is going to try to shape and mold you. But you have to be in this space of being centered and not get caught up in the pattern of mimicking the others. That's conformity. So yeah, first card out is Nine of Cups. Being emotionally satisfied with yourself. Being content with yourself. Being fulfilled with yourself. This is self-fulfillment. And having everything that you need and having your own box full. I'm also getting, you don't look for other people to give you roses because you fill yourself up. You give yourself your own roses. You give yourself your flowers. And I think that's another thing with that message of they want you to dumb it down. I feel like if you dumb it down, it's like you're going to no longer see your true value. You're going to no longer see your true worth. Because they want you to play the role of being dumb. And answer the question like this. If you do have people that telling you the way you do it is wrong, then are they right? And if they're right, and if they know how to do it so well, why aren't they doing what they are asking you to do? Why do they need you to do it? If they can do it, why do they need you to do it? If they do it so well, why do they need you to do it? What's wrong with you doing it the way that you do it? And what's wrong with it is because they want to feel vibrant, fresh, and spirited. I feel like behind the scenes, this is how you come off. You look vibrant. You look fresh. You look spirited. You look, again, self-content. You're content with yourself. You're happy with yourself. You don't mind being alone. You don't mind being alone. And it's also like I also feel as if you pick up on this stuff. You pick up on the fact that people want to uh, emotionally alter you. Because this is also like an emotional thing. So I'm also picking up on the energy. Like, emotionally, these people are not set right within themselves. How you are coming off, you are okay with yourself. I seen a and I'm picking up on I'm channeling and picking up on Erica Badu when she said, "I'm all right with me. I don't need no validation from the external world," and that's what it is. Like, whoever is gonna see this message is for you. You are all right with you. You're not seeking external validation. You're not seeking validation from the others. You're not looking for them to tell you if what it is that you choose to do is the right way or the wrong way. Because if it's wrong, you're gonna recalibrate on your own. And that's what life is there to show you anyway. And you're not trying to build your life on the foundation and principalities of that of the others. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not even paying attention to themselves. They're not even focusing on themselves. They are being pulled and being puppeteered by other people. Other people are pulling their strings. And so by you having and being the master of your own emotions and following your own, another cup, Ace of Cups, overflow, renewal, abundance, you being able to fill your own cup, you being in the master of your own emotions. So what's that? What else? Let's see what else we get. Ooh. In the low vibrational end, King of Swords. Street smart, real, direct. So this person isn't real. They aren't direct. They aren't smart. That's why they want you to dumb it down. They aren't as, I'm also getting the energy of they aren't as knowledgeable in the things in which you are knowledgeable. And that's the thing. I'm also getting this comparison energy. They're more in the realm, like all of this over here is cups, emotions, intuition. And it's something on the inside that you can't see. But this is also something on the inside that you can't see because it's the mind. But this person in the low vibrational end, they aren't as knowledgeable as they deem themselves to be. They aren't as wise as they would like to show up as. And it's also the energy of manipulation. I also feel like it's more or less like um, just very sneaky. Like, if you're not direct, you're very sneaky. You're very, like, trying to be overly cunning. So I feel like you are in this energy of being, satisfied with yourself. You control your own mind. You control your own spirit. You know what you got going on. That's another thing too. I'm also picking up on. You know what you got going on. You know what your plans is. You're maneuvering and navigating your situation on your own without any direction from any outside forces. And I also feel like they're doing this. They're trying to find ways to um, alter the way in which you see yourself. And I also feel like it's more or less like a distraction. It's a distraction tech to throw you off your path. When you focusing on what it is that you want to focus on, you doing your own thing, and it's like, let's see how we can distract this person. Let's see how we can like alter the energy. I'm also getting like it's a problem that you focusing on yourself. So we also got judgment and the Eight of Wands, and it's also I feel like it's how you communicate. They're judging the way you communicate. That's also the energy of do it like this, say it like this, don't say it like this, say it like that. Use these words, dumb it down. Don't speak or don't communicate in the ways in which you communicate. Try to communicate on our level. But it's also because they are in judgment. They either are judging themselves and how they communicate with other people, or they feel like uh, they are judging themselves. They depict themselves to be uh, not as bright, not as brilliant because of the way you communicate and how you communicate. And they're becoming awakened to the fact that they lack the mental capacity to understand the things in which you are saying to them. But that's not your problem. That's their problem. That means you need to go and fill your cup. You need to go and read. You need to go and figure out how to communicate and articulate and translate what it is that you want to say. It's not my problem. I feel like that's why you come up as the Nine of Cups, because you like that's not my problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. And it also stems from the choices that they make. Judgment. And the judgment card, it says reckoning, awakening, revival, a final sacred choice. Meaning, like, I'm also getting that these people think that the choices that they have made are showing. It's coming up in the way in which they communicate. It's coming up in the way in which uh, externally their actions, how fast they move, how quick they are able to translate their thoughts and ideas and emotions into actions. And I also feel like their action shows that they are not uh, emotionally fulfilled. with themselves. Their actions also show that they are not in overflow. Their actions also show that they are in lack mentality and that they are not in the state of consciousness of abundance. They don't. I also feel like their perception, their judgment isn't in alignment with that of the truth. Hence, the fact that they are in the low vibrational energy of not being real, not being direct, not being street smart. And street smart don't necessarily have to mean that they're out on the streets and they know how to operate. It's more or less like, how do you operate out in the world? How do you maneuver out in the world? Are you able to understand the ways of the world? Or are you more, is your perception more, is your perception more closed? Kind of, sort of, like that. So take it how it applies. Oh, okay. Now we're getting down to the root of this, chat. So, again, these four cards came out, and we got the Eight of Cups, emotional abandonment, walking away, leaving, having the courage to move on. Three of Swords, heartbreak, sorrow, betrayal. His pleas can't fix shit. So, I'm going to hold it right there. Then we have the Nine of Cups again, emotional contentment, wishes, self-satisfaction. And then we also have Ten of Swords, betrayed, defeated, backstabbed. Our reign has come to a heartbreaking end. So what I'm getting from this, to further clarify your vibrant, fresh, and spirited energy, this is what I'm picking up on. You have experienced things that, left you emotionally scarred in the past, heartbroken, and you experienced some sort of betrayal. Whether it had been a job betrayal, a life lesson, whether it literally was you experienced some sort of emotional abandonment from abandonment from when you was a kid, not having a mom or a dad, or abandonment from a relationship, being in a relationship with somebody that you just truly love, and they walked away from you, and you had to pick yourself up and mend your own heart and pour into yourself, which is why you came back around to the nine of cups. So it speaks in a testament of the work you had to do to heal your own heart from this Ten of Swords, this backstab, this betrayal. And so you may have felt defeated in the past. This is how you were able to move forward. You didn't just wallow in what happened to you in the past. You picked yourself up and you kept moving. You were able to walk away from the heartbreak and the sorrow and fulfill yourself. You were able to answer your own wishes by learning how to be purely satisfied with self, or finding satisfaction in another way outside of the old patterns, the things that have made you feel betrayed and backstabbed in the past. So once you walked away from that, you was able to find contentment within yourself. And so that also is an attestament to the fact that it could be uh, finances. It could talk about how you left a job. Somebody felt like they probably okay. So this is a storyline that I'm picking up on. Somebody could have um, got fired from a job, and that manager did it in an indirect way. They fired you without telling you why you was being fired. They did it in a manipulative way, meaning they altered paperwork and they filed paperwork and they got you out of the job in a indirect way. I'm also getting like you were doing things that were allegedly, and I'm only using these air quotes because you found a way in which you could operate the system that worked to your benefit, and it may have been quicker. It may have brought in more customers. It may have brought in more eyes on you, and this person didn't like that. And they also felt like, oh, I'm doing the job in the way in which they are telling me to do it, and I'm not happy. But see, you came into the job and you did it to the best of your abilities, and then you did it and you was fulfilled, meaning you had your money, you felt good about yourself every day, you was able to take care of yourself and your family, and you made it work. You made it work for you. You made the opportunity work for you. You took the money that they was offering, and it may not have been a whole lot of money, but you you yourself had the mindset and the understanding of how to utilize and turn a little into a lot. You took this little bit of money. You took this little money, this change, and made a change. And not only was you able to take the little that was present, you was able to take that money, do what you need to do with it, and teach somebody else and guide somebody else and pass that information along so that they could know how to be in overflow as well. You didn't just keep the cup to yourself. You didn't just keep the knowledge to yourself. You shared it. You passed it along. And you didn't have to just give your cup away. It was in a state of overflow. Whatever you had and it spilt out, you was able to give it away like that. But see, they wasn't real and direct. They wasn't real direct. They wasn't smart. They wasn't honest. They was manipulative. They was cold. And they wanted to make sure that they tried to change you. But see, it didn't work. That didn't work. They tried to count you out. That's also what I'm picking up on too. They try to count you out on this opportunity. And I also felt like they tried to do something to make you they tried to do something to make you feel different about yourself. Kind of like what I was talking about in the beginning. They try to get in your head, try to make you feel different about yourself. If they can alter the way you feel about yourself in a situation, if they can alter your perception, then they would change your reality. But in actuality, you just gained a different perspective. You gained awareness of who they actually really were. Because they wasn't even being in the energy of being real with themselves. And they didn't expect that. But they, in them doing this, they halted their own progression. And also, what I'm hearing is, by them watching you, you showed them and reminded them of of what it was like starting out for them. But you also showed them that the way you started out and the way you began was also different from the path in which they had taken from the beginning. I hope that makes sense. Let me try it again. So everything big was once small. So say you're this small thing. You're small. You just starting out. You just getting the opportunity. You out there. You making it work. You just got change. And this reminded this person of who they was in the beginning. Maybe in the beginning they started off and they was fresh and vibrant and free spirited. But see, now they're not. They have became wiser. They've been in the game a little bit longer. And instead of them being in this energy of wiser, smarter, they got I'm also getting they got derailed. They they don't have a future for themselves, or therefore they don't see a future for themselves, or they did not know and they did not have a vision for their life. They didn't have a true vision. You had a vision because you held yours within. You held it close to you. You held it in your heart. And see, that's the difference from them, because they held their vision in their head. It was based upon the thoughts and ideas they hold, rather than how it makes them feel, and if it feels good to the heart. Not just in the sense of, is it passion? Did it make them move? But it was more than like, are you emotionally connected to it? And I feel like the things that they was doing in the beginning when they first started out, they wasn't emotionally connected to the task, the job, the life, the whatever it is. They wasn't emotionally connected to it. You're emotionally connected to it. They aren't. They are coming at it from a logical standpoint. You're coming from it from a emotional standpoint. And your emotions is what moves you. Your emotions is what has you to expect it, because you're emotionally bound. You holding it from the heart, and so you're expecting it. You're expecting good things. But they're holding it in their mind. They're logically trying to be calculating and all of that kind of stuff. And so their moves and their motions are more calculated. So it it can get deterred easily. And I'm also getting like their vision, their progress was clouded based upon like the insight that they gained. But see, I feel like they was getting their insight from the external world. They wasn't getting the insight from the internal world. Ooh, the Queen of Swords. But in the end, this is what you're gonna be looking like. The Queen of Swords. Very, very smart, very strategic. No bullshit. She rules with clarity and an uncompromising truth. You didn't have to compromise the truth. Cause see, you was true to yourself from the beginning. You was pure. You was acting out of pure heart. You was moving in clarity. Not just clarity in your mind, but you was clear in your heart. You was clear in your actions. Y'all, you was in alignment is what I'm getting. That's why everything always worked out for you. That's why it looked at as if you was way more smarter than them. They may have been in a they may have been in a bigger position. They may have been at it longer. But see, alignment trumps labels and all of that shit anyway. Alignment trumps everything. When you know who you are and whose you are, you don't have to worry about uh, playing the game by the rules of everybody else because you're following the true law. You're in alignment. What's at the bottom of the deck? Ooh, 7 of Wands. I feel like you ain't need to defend yourself. You didn't need to have the courage to stand your ground. You didn't have to tell them nothing because this is how they showed up. They was also in this energy of being defensive, standing their ground. But I also feel like it came from them feeling like I gotta tell you something. I gotta tell you. You need to. You need to dumb it down. You need to stop doing it that way. You need to do it my way. They were in this defensive energy. And you didn't have to be defensive. You just set your boundaries. There was no need for you to defend anything. I just said this is how it's gonna be and this is how it's not gonna be. This is how I'm gonna move. And I'm gonna move in this way because this is in alignment with me. And if it's not in alignment with me, I'm just not gonna do it. So if you feel like you need to cross me, if you feel like you need to cut me off, if you feel like you need to play the games of being manipulative, if you feel like you need to tell lies, if you feel like you need to make yourself feel better than me, go ahead. But I'm in alignment with who I am, and I don't need to be defensive because the truth is that I'm not trapped. Devil card. Bondage, traps, dependencies, breaking free from what binds you. So when they call themselves trying to cut you off and do all of that, they just free. You were still in alignment anyway. That wasn't where you were supposed to be. That was high. Yes, it was heartbreaking in the midst of all of that stuff. But you learn, okay, so this is just a part of my story. This is a part of my narrative. This is how I'm gonna grow. I can't get too detached about this. I can't get too in my head about this. You know. Let's see what else. Let's finish it with an affirmation card. Okay, so we got 2 of those. So we got achieving success is my natural birthright. It says you are meant to succeed, and failure should feel bad. Should feel bad to you. Life is supposed to go well for you, and when it does not, there is something wrong. But what is wrong is not something that is outside of you, over which you have no control. What is wrong is within you, and you do have control. And taking control is not difficult to do once you understand the basis of who you are. I just said that. Basis of the law of attraction and the value of your personal emotional guidance system. Ooh. See? Content. You was content. You know these things. And then we also got my attention to unwanted attracts more unwanted. So it says, for every pleasing thing, there is an unpleasing counterpart. For within every particle of the universe is that which is wanted, as well as the lack of what is wanted. When you focus upon an unwanted aspect of something in an effort to push it away from you, it only comes closer because you get what you give your attention to, whether it is something that You want or not, it is up to you to focus upon and attract what you wanted. So I also feel like that also speaks about this. They want you to be dumb it down because they are not focusing on the things that make them feel smart. They are not focusing on the things that make them feel proud. So that's why they focusing on trying to tell you how to show up, because how you're showing up isn't the way in which they want you to show up. You're showing um you're showing them that I don't have to do it your way to be successful. Success is my birthright, and I don't have to focus on doing things that I don't want to do. And by them not being in this space of being real, direct, and honest with themselves, they are stuck in this energy of focusing and giving their attention to things that attract more of the unwanted. This is why they are not in this overflow, in this state of abundance. This is why they don't come up as vibrantly fresh and spirited, self fulfilled, purely fulfilled. So yeah, this is how you showing up. You're purely fulfilled with your life. And don't let nobody ever try to alter how you feel about yourself. This is why it's important for you to tap in with you. So yes, that's the reading. If you stayed this long, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the love and support. And I will see you in the next one.